Hi everyone, it's Tracy here from Crafteezee. Both Sandy and myself have received emails regarding the Frantage, so I thought we'd put a little tutorial together today to show you the capabilities. Here you see my little tubs of Frantage. I've got shabby pink, aged wine, shabby blue, aged rose and my shabby white. First thing I want to show you is I've put a little bit on each card so that I can match it to my papers and to see what it's like. Here I've got shabby pink, if you can see that, shabby white, shabby blue, it really stands out on the black card, that's the shabby blue on the white, and the aged wine, all in stock at Live and Love Crafts. And with these, oh, missed the aged rose there, it's another lovely one. You can mix and match all of your colours to create whatever combination you want. So just to show you, I put a shabby blue with some aged rose there. Looks really nice. This is the aged wine with a tad of white. You can see that. That's the shabby white on the black. Aged rose with a shabby white and a shabby pink. But let's show you what we can do with it, adding it onto some products. First of all, I'm going to show you two ways of putting the Frantage onto your cardstock. The first one, I'm going to use a Versamark pad. If you want it to stay in a particular place, I would use a Versamark pad. So if you only wanted it to go on the edges, I would place the Versamark around the edge. I would then bring in my embossing powder around the edge. You can move it around with your fingers or with a brush and position it wherever you want to. If you've got a bit too much on there, too little, it really is how you want it to be. As I put the Versamark on it, I'm going to heat it from underneath, from the top, where you can put it from the top, sorry, on the Versamark. And ideally it shouldn't go anywhere. Move your heat gun around as you would normal embossing. This is my first tutorial too. I'm probably waffling. And I think actually when you do it just around the edge there using the Versamark pad, you get a subtler approach. Not so chunky. Really depends on the look. I mean, if you wanted to, you could add to that, or if you wanted to add a different colour on top, you could do that, or you could mix beforehand two different colours. So that's just if you want it to be on the edge. If you want to place around your image, if you wanted to go around the edge around your image and wanted a chunkier look, I wouldn't use the Versamark pad. I would position it around my image where I wanted it to be, literally just by dabbing. This one is the aged wine. And a lot of people have asked how we get those splatters. Now you see now where it's separated. Again, I'm going to push them around. I mean, you've got to imagine I've got an image on here. Push it around where you want it to be. But these little splatters are what's going to make the difference. Oops. See, I'm waffling. Because you haven't put the Versamark on there, you will need to heat from underneath first. This will make it a little bit tacky to your cardstock, so hopefully when you put your heat gun on the top, it doesn't all blow everywhere. I say hopefully. I do get impatient at times. I think I've picked up most of the aged here rather than some of the lilac in there, but again, you can always add to it. This has got a gold, silver, bit of black and lilac in it. So you're getting some chunky bits and those splashes. I think this is what separates Frantage from normal embossing powders. Can you see the effect that one's made there? So two types, using the Versamark pad if you want it specifically in a place, or if you just want to chunk it around like I have there, you don't have to use a Versamark pad. Move it around with your fingers. Now, you might have seen on my cards that I have been embossing some of the products. I just want to show you, this is a burlap flower by Mayer Road, and I added some pink and blue. So today I'm just going to dab around a bit of the aged wine. I haven't used the pad on here, I'm literally just dabbing it where I want it to be, there or thereabouts. And I would use a piece of card, I'm going to use this piece here, just to, I don't want to hold it by my fingers. You see there, we did lose a little bit there because I've gone straight in there, but I think the flour's too thick for me to start heating underneath. Because it is made of fabric, I really would make sure that you move that heat gun around, because we don't really want to set anything on fire. The gold really coming through in the lilac there. Can you see that? But I'm going to add some of the shabby pink as well. Dot it around and heat again. It's coming, looks good from here. One other tip from Sandy is to make sure you put your lids back on your pots, because I think she's knocked them over twice. There are some heat tools out there where you can actually have this at a distance so you don't burn your hands. Might be advisable, but right, I'm just going to add a little bit more of the aged wine. You can keep going till you're happy. And again, heat, you've got a heat gun. You can pop a nice pearl in the centre there to give you a nice, oops, stuck on there. You can see that better without. It gives you a different flower there. And a bit like Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier, using the shabby pink and the shabby blue. Got two different style flowers, and again, I mean, I don't know what happened there, but I must have Frantage the pearl. Pearl in the centre, that gives you two nice flowers. So another good thing to Frantage is metal. Now with the metal, I do want it to stick, so I'm going to use my pad. So, get this position. This is by Mayer Road. This is the dress clip. And I'm going to push the dress clip into the pad. And then I'm going to just pop it into, this one is aged wine. Again, I'm going to pop that onto a piece of card, purely because I don't want to burn my fingers. And another tip with the metal is not to handle it straight after, because it will be very hot. I think I could do one of those tools so I don't burn my fingers. This is coming out really well. If you can see that yet with the gold. I really like that one. It's just, I'm not going to move it with my fingers, but I'm just going to try and put that on a clean piece of paper so you can see the effect. Doesn't that look good? Okay, so we'll move on. Aware of my time. And we're going to do one of the little Mayer Road hangers. And let's do this one in rose pink. Again, I'm going to press this into my, make sure I get around the right way. I'm going to press this into my ink pad just to give it something to stick on. And our handy little pots. Again, I'm going to put it in a piece of card because I don't want to burn my fingers. We're going to heat this. Should be all glittery tonight. This one is the aged rose. Here we go then. That's a little hanger done in the aged rose by Mayer Road. That's my little collection. Okay, butterflies. The wooden butterflies emboss beautifully. Again, similar thing, we're going to pop it into my pad. You can see my pad's fast becoming multicoloured. And I'm going to use this time the shabby blue. Pop it into my little pot. These snappy trays are quite handy as well when you're doing embossing. Make sure you get as much back in the pot as possible. But here we go. When I've used the first mark, so I'm going to go straight on top and heat the butterfly. And this is the shabby blue. I think you've seen quite many of the design team use the shabby blue, shabby white. I think you might have seen me use almost all of them. And there we go. That's the shabby blue. But if you wanted to add a little bit of pink or even white to it, you could mix beforehand, but you can also just dab it on where you wanted it to be. Let's go for a little bit here in the centre. And then just heat. It would have, because it would have been warm, would have stuck to the blue. So I've gone in from the top. And now you see we have got a lovely blue and pink butterfly. Okay, now the other thing I did the other day was, yes, these turned out really well. These are the 6mm pearl string, but I have also used it on the 2 and 3mm pearl string. This is using the shabby aged rose. If you can see that, really does give a difference to just white beads or plain beads. You've got that gold and pink. So what colour shall we do these beads in? Let's ink up our beads. I kind of dabble it everywhere. I mean, you might end up with a bit of white through there as well, but as I say, you can always add whatever colour you want to add. So let's do these beads in, let's go for a pink and a blue, I think. Pop them in my pot, give them a swirl around. Now you can put this on a piece of paper, or you can, I've got to try not to drop it, add it with some tweezers and heat up and down. Your pearls. I might actually put this in a bit of lilac. Let's turn in a nice Nice shade going there. And whilst that's all still warm, I'm just going to pop those beads in my lilac pot, give them a swirl around. Oh yes, that looks good. And heat. Let's add a little bit more. Let's swirl around. Actually, I might add a bit of see here, I also keep a baby white to hand close by because I always get a bit messy. So here we have the finished beads. Hopefully you can see that. We've got the blue, lilac, it goes into gold and back into the blue. So it really does make the beads very, very effective. Okay. So that brings me to the end of my first video tutorial, and here are all the products that I've frantaged. Oh, this is a little peg, wooden peg. Again, it's had a bit of a shabby blue treatment, and that will be finding a new home very soon. So we have, just to recap, the Mayer Road hangers, dress clips, and the Mayer Road flowers. 2 styles, wooden butterflies. This is a metal butterfly. I also frantaged in the shabby pink. Again, just remember, be careful when you're using metal not to burn yourself. The butterflies are gorgeous. You really get the motley effect. And that's in the aged wine gold, lovely. In the plain white, but again, you know, add as many colours, mix, and of course these fabulous pearls. Really do make a difference. So I just want to thank you for popping by today. Hopefully you've stayed to the end and I haven't bored you too much. Would love to know your thoughts. But thanks for popping by today.